Alrighty guys, episode 2 of the 5 Series build. It is time to change out my valve cover gasket. Got the plastic covers off, as you can see over there. I do this little hose over here, which is actually broken on my car for the crankcase ventilation. Got to squeeze down over here. Got disconnected over here, as you can see. Not looking too pretty in there, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad once we get this cover off. Next thing we're going to do is remove all the ignition coils. As you can see over here, there are 2 bolts attached to them. There's also some grounding points, one on this side, one over there. Before we even do that, we might want to remove the cabin air filter shroud over here, as well as the cabin air filter, and this little guy over here. Cover comes off. Pull the rubber seal off, like that. This little piece just comes right off, as you can see. In some cases, you need to twist it, but in my case, it just kind of popped out. I think it just happens when it gets old, but I think it's supposed to be you twist it toward the driver's side. But in this case, it just kind of came right out anyways, so I'm going to put this to the side now. As with the box itself, just squeeze down this little clip down here, lifts the entire thing up, and you can just pull it right on out of there. A lot of the times, this vacuum line over here will be very frail just from all the heat from the exhaust manifold, so keep that in mind. You might want to replace it. I already have with the silicone line, so yeah, my vacuum pipe actually just broke in half as I was pulling it out of the little groove over here, this little clip. But no worries, I'm just using a little bit of hose to put in there for now, and it is very oily down here. Once you've got your ignition coils out, you want to go ahead and take these little grounding straps out as well. I believe they might be 6mm or 7mm. Can't quite tell from here, but there's 3 of them. There's one over here, and one over there. Quick correction, so those were actually 8mm bolts for the grounds, not 6. Once into that, you can actually unclip your actual ignition coil wiring harness over here, put it to the side, of course, and then we can go ahead and start loosening up the bolts for the actual valve cover itself. I would try not to do this a little bit evenly, so we'll do like middle, middle on this side, middle on that side, this one, that one. Just so the torque is evenly released off the top of the valve cover itself. We don't have any cracks. Alrighty, so I've got all 15 of the valve cover bolts off, including those little studs in the middle. There are actually 4 of those, not 3. And now is the fun part, which is going to be taking the actual cover off. You want to make sure all the cables and wires and hoses are kind of tucked away behind the actual groove in the valve cover over here. So kind of behind like this, like so, away from the actual valve cover itself. And then the ignition coil harness should be a little bit to the side, but not completely out of the way. We'll have to kind of maneuver it as we take it off. Now I'm just going to see if it'll come off with me pulling it. Hopefully that's all it takes. If not, we'll need to use some plastic pry tools. Alrighty guys, take a look at my 175,000 mile M54. I think just some frequent oil changes and some engine flush from Liquid Moly will really help this guy out a little bit more. Took up the cam. Nothing too bad to look at. Nothing too much to talk about really. I'm just going to clean up the netting surface now with some brake clean and a microfiber cloth, and then I'll put the new gaskets on. There are a few, so there's one over here, and also the 2 sets in the middle, and then also each bolt actually has its own little gasket that you can put on. It is also good to put a little bit of gasket maker right over here between the Venice area and the rest of the block. It's kind of where there's a little bit of a split right there. So from the feel of the actual gaskets themselves, they're still pretty soft, and they're not like hard plastic like I would have thought for a car this old, this high mileage. So I'm thinking they were done before, but incorrectly, because they're still leaking on the exhaust side, and it seems like they must not have been torqued down correctly or something like that. So maybe unevenly torque distribution, all that kind of stuff. So got the new gasket ready to go in the garage over there. But for now, I'm going to clean up this mating surface with some brake clean and a microfiber cloth, and we should be ready to go. I'm going to get off this old silicone over here, or old gasket maker. Should just kind of peel away. But yeah. So on this motor, the actual M54 has separate little gaskets for each bolt actually. So I've got new ones of those. There should be 15 total to match with the 15 bolts that we got over here.
A few moments later.